For quick grid we need to install a package, okay, which is from Microsoft only. So we'll go to client project. We are going to open manage NuGet packages. In here we'll search for quick grid, and we should see we need this one, Microsoft ASP.NET Core.components.quickgrid. Okay, there is one quick grid with from someone else, but this is not what we need. We need Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.components.quickgrid, which is from Microsoft itself. Okay, so we'll install this, apply, I accept, and it is installed. Cool. Now we'll come back to mylinks.razor page. Here we are going to add one using statement. So using Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.components.quickgrid. This is the thing which we want to use. All right. So for this, what we'll do, because we are going to have paging and we are going to get data from the server. When we click on, we are not having client side paging, we are going to have server side paging. That means when we click on any of the link, it will go, request will go to the server, it will fetch the data and it will come back. So for that, the way we are going to use, we need one quick grid items provider, grid items provider. So we'll say private grid items provider. It is a generic type. We need to provide what type of items grid is going to have. So it is going to have links with type of link DTU. All right. So here we'll say, let's say links provider. All right. Let's make it nullable. And now with this links provider, we need to provide body for this. So inside this on initialized async, we'll say underscore links provider equals, this is going to have delegate. So here we'll say async, and inside this async, we will have a request, and now we need to provide body for this. So for this thing, we will fetch the data, and the data is going to be this, links and count. So we'll say links comma count equals await link service dot get links by user async. Now we need to provide all these things. First thing, we need to provide a user ID, which we can provide simply string.empty for now, or maybe just a blank string, because we don't need this. It will be provided from the current claims, currently logged in user. Then we need start index, so that we are going to get from this request parameter. So request dot start index. All right. After that, we are going to have request dot count, which is for the page size basically. After that, we have active only, if we are displaying active or all records right now. So for this, we are going to have a piece of state here. So let's have a private enum here. So we'll say, let's say show type, and here we'll say all and active only. All right. And we are going to use this show type here. So we'll say private show type and underscore show type, and a default value we are going to use is active only. All right. Or maybe let's get it from query string. We are going to have those buttons, so we can get this from query string, or should we have it direct like this only? When we'll click on it, we'll simply modify this thing. Okay, let's use query string approach. So we'll have same page, but with different query string parameter for active only and for all. Okay, so here what we'll do, we'll simply say, let's say private string nullable string, we'll say show get set with a default value of show type dot active only dot toString, and we are going to get this thing from query string. So we'll say supply parameter from query, and we can use this show as the parameter name, which is default, which is the same name, but let's have it explicit. Now for the show type, we can have this show type as a helper computed property here, or maybe let's do this. Let's have private bool, and here we'll say show active only. This is going to be a computed property from this show query string parameter. Okay, so here we'll say if this string dot is null or white space this show, if we have not provided this show, this query string parameter, we'll consider it as user wants to show or see all the active links only. So active is our default. Or if that's not the case, we have provided something with show, then we can check show with if show is equals show type dot active only dot toString. So we'll consider that show active only if we have not provided show this query string parameter, or we have provided it with active only. All right. Okay, so save everything. Now we can provide this thing when we are making this grid request. So the last parameter will say show active only, and it is going to be a boolean parameter. Now the request.count, this is a nullable int. So if this is null, we can have some default page size. So for that we can have this default page size here at the very top. Let's say private const int page size, and let's say 5 for now, we'll increase it later. So here if this request dot count is null, we'll use that default page size. All right, so now we have links and we have count. Now from this links provider we need to return something, and that something is going to be grid item provider result. So grid items provider result, this is the return type, and on this we have this grid not request grid item provider result dot from, it has this factory method. So from, now if you see the signature, we can provide a collection of grid items and total item count. So we know collection of grid items, which is this links, and total item count is count. And now we are good, our links provider is ready. All right, now we can simply get rid of all this. So save everything, and now we are good. All right, now we need to use this. So here inside this else part, inside this row, we are going to use our quick grid component. Okay, and on this quick grid component we have one items provider property. So this we are going to use our links provider. All right, and after this links provider we can provide a paging as well. So pagination, it needs pagination state, this object, this class. So for this we'll create this pagination state object here. So we'll say private pagination state underscore pagination state equals new pagination state, and in here we can define something which is items per page, which is our page size. All right, so let's move it to single line only. Now we have this underscore pagination state. We can come here and on this links provider, we can define this underscore pagination state, and now we are good. Alright, now it uses this, but it does not display paging. So for displaying that paging, we can use paginator paginator component, which is again provided by this ASP.NET Core quick grid component. So on this paginator, if we see, we need to provide pagination state parameter, which is a required parameter for this. So we'll say state equals underscore pagination state. But now this is the paging and this is the state which we are using. Now we are good. Now inside this we can define our designer items basically. So for now we are going to have the single column. So this complete thing we can cut from here. We can come inside this quick grid and we can define a template column. Okay, here do let me know in the comment if you want a dedicated video to this quick grid. I can create a dedicated video where I can explain everything related to this quick grid component. Okay, how to work with local data, then server data, all the paging and all stuff related to this template column. We have property columns, so we have a lot of things related to this quick grid component. Okay, all right, so now inside this template column we can directly add this, paste this. Now when we were using this for each loop, we had this var link in underscore links, but now we don't have this for each loop. So how we can get the current link item, this link? So for this, for all of these template columns and all these inside this quick grid, it gives us a special variable, special parameter, which is context. So that context is a one by one single item from this links provider. This links provider is same as underscore links. If we could see, it is providing link DTO one by one. So at the rate context, inside this is going to be the single link. So we are going to replace all these links with at the rate context. So context.isActive, and we had anything else here? No. Now after this we'll directly go to this link.short URL. So context, and again context.long URL and context.total clicks, context.id. And now we are good. Now our quick grid is ready. Alright, now quickly we can check it out. So if I save it and if I run it, I should see the quick grid with paging, of course. Okay, it is coming up. My links. Something is not right. And now we can see this, but the 20 items, page 1 of 4, this is not coming. Let's hard refresh it. And now we can see it. When we added that link, it was not able to, so it was getting something from caching. That's why it was not rendering it. So now we are good. We have total 20 items. We have 5 items on this page and we have this pagination, right? Page 1 of 4. We can go to the next page, page 2 of 4, page 3 of 4, page 4 of 4. Now the next and last item, last page icons are disabled. We can go to the first page. So now paging is working fine and we have implemented this. The design is same, everything looks great. All right, cool. Now we'll work on some next thing. Let's see what we are going to work on next. So we have that active flag, right? So let's start working on that active flag.